So as I was saying, we cannot just keep going with, okay, now we're going to study right view and we're going to ignore what's going on, right? So this is life and everything is included, joy and sorrow and pain and success and everything at the same time. As I mentioned today, the whole country is divided between celebrating and maybe being disappointed. I don't know. So that is life. That's reality. And actually, right view. So the first noble truth, the first eightfold, one of the noble eightfold paths, right view is about that. It's about seeing clearly. Like, what do you mean by seeing clearly? Yeah, seeing what it is and what it is. I'm seeing this. Well, that's what I'm seeing, but ask the person next to me and they are seeing something different. What is reality then? Right? What's the real reality? So in this context of right view, we're trying to understand what is known as the three characteristics of existence, which are impermanence, which has been a very, very gross example of impermanence, like really, even it's painful, right? So I had an experience, I remember once, many years ago, 23, my husband was kidnapped in Mexico City. And I went to see my meditation teacher, my Buddhist teaching. And I was just starting, right? And I told him, and he kind of gave me a teaching on impermanence. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that right now. Don't teach me now. I'm just, like, thank you. Thank you for the teaching. It's way too strong right now for me. Don't bring that to me. So I was really struggling to, what am I gonna say? Like, you don't want to tell people, oh yeah, impermanence. Yeah, thank you. I noticed, right? Don't need to like how do you say, like, um yeah, rub it more. We got it. We got it. Thank you. We don't need that now. But at the same time, it's inevitable for those of us who did not suffer it so strongly. It's a huge call of nothing is permanent, nothing stays forever. Everything that's been created, it's gonna be decreated or disappeared or everything, right? So that's one of the aspects that we try to see and learn and understand when we have the right view, that nothing is permanent, nothing lasts, everything changes. The only thing that does not change is change. That if you are born, you're gonna die. That's the only certain thing that we all know and when we don't know, but you're, you're gonna age. As I repeat myself in my morning meditations, the 5 remembrances, I'm so lucky I'm alive. Oh, and I'm healthy and I'm breathing and I try to remember all the goodness that I had since I was born. I had a loving family, not perfect, of course, but a loving family, a loving extended family. I was able to go to school. I was living in a country that was no war, there were no devastation. So all the goodness. Of course, I forget the things that I don't want to remember and that there's no point on remembering, but why not being grateful with all the goodness? And I'm a human, so I'm lucky, but then I'm aging, and lately I'm aging even more faster. I don't know. And I'm gonna die, right? Eventually, right? And then I can lose everything I have, everything. The people I love, my friends, my possessions, da da da. And when I learn about the fires, I realize that after I have been repeating this every morning before my meditation, I just realized I had a little voice on the back of my head that would say, well, but hopefully not. Well, but hopefully not. And then I thought, oh my God, I've had this little voice, and I just realized now that I'm about to lose my house, right? Because I thought, I've been preparing myself for this for many years. I should be ready. And then I thought, yeah, but that little voice, I always allow that little voice to be there. Like, yeah, hopefully not. Okay, you're just repeating this because you have, but really it's not gonna happen to you. And then I thought, oh my God, yeah, it might happen, because I live just on the border of literally 2 blocks from. So, that was a huge opening for me, that even though I've been trying to be comfortable with the reality, there's always something inside me that, okay, no, not that much, or yeah, well, maybe not everybody's gonna leave you, maybe just 1 or 2 people, but not everybody. But it can happen, they might die, they might get sick, they might betray you, you might leave, I don't know. But yeah, this is kind of an extreme. The other characteristic of existence is that nothing is per se satisfactory. Even the most satisfactory of the things, events, experiences, or people, they change. They don't last forever. They're gonna, decrease. Even, when you're having the best of the orgasms, it's gonna end, right? And nobody wants to be in a 24/7 orgasm, because then like, where are you? What are you doing? So everything it has a little bit of unsatisfactoriness or a huge amount. And, there's no rules how it goes. And everything is interconnected. Nothing has an essence per se that depends only on itself. Neither me, neither things, neither events, neither ideas, nothing. So the right view for me is when we finally have a little bit more, a better grasping of how things are, we start seeing that we suffer a little less. Why? Because and I have a bunch of little poems and examples of why, when we just realize that things are gonna last, then when they come to an end, we don't get so frustrated. We don't get so disappointed. We don't get so, oh no, why me? What this? How come? Because we knew it was gonna happen. So I know you've heard these, and I want to, if I find it, like the Japanese pottery master and the cracked bowl. So in a small Japanese village, there lived a master potter renowned for his exquisite ceramic bowls. People traveled from far and wide to admire and purchase his work, which embodied grace and perfection. One day, a young apprentice accidentally dropped a finished bowl. The piece shattered into several pieces on the floor. The apprentice was devastated, fearing the master's anger. Instead, the potter picked up the fragments and studied them carefully. He did not scold or throw them away. Instead, he said, "This bowl is not ruined. It has simply entered a new chapter of its existence." The master began the process of kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. I don't know if you have seen those kinds of, yeah. He mended the bowl with great care, filling its cracks with molten gold, transforming it into something even more beautiful than it was before. The once flawless bowl now bore golden veins, each one a testament to its unique history and resilience. The potter then taught his apprentice, "Impermanence is not to be feared, but embraced. In each crack lies the story of life, And in each repair lies the opportunity for compassion and renewal. This is how we live, by honoring what is broken and making it whole again. So why not thinking about my house is, no, this is way too much. My car is already cracked, or my health is already, I'm already unhealthy. I'm a human, right? So whenever I get a test and, oh, you have oh, yeah, of course, I'm a human. I'm not going to be humongously surprised. I'm going to be thankful that it's not another thing that could be worse. Um, so that is one of the things that can help us naturally not suffer that intensely and that more. And so bringing the topic of compassion, because compassion is natural to each one of us. It's not that, oh, we need to build it. I don't have, I'm not. I'm sure all of you have felt compassion for someone, for yourselves. And I'm also sure it's hard for you to feel compassion for certain kind or group of people. And it's basically because we don't have right view, which means we're seeing them with a veil, like, I don't like that people. I cannot feel compassion for them because they have been doing these things that are harmful. Well, that's your view. That's our view, right? And I have another little story to tell you about that, because it's all about how we view things. And I'm not saying that we need to view everyone as angels coming from the heavens to help us, although there are some people think like that. Think as everyone as your mother, that they have been here to care for you, to love you, to whatever, and you interpret that. So when we see things, when we get angry or anxious or disappointed or we don't like something, it's because of our view. And I'm going to just exemplify this with a little story that's called The Buddha and the Empty Boat. One day, a monk was meditating by a river at dawn. As the sun rose, he sat in deep concentration, his mind peaceful and clear. Suddenly, he felt a bump against his small boat. His tranquility vanished, replaced by anger, as he assumed another boat had carelessly run into his. He opened his eyes, ready to shout at the person responsible, but he saw that the other boat was empty, drifting aimlessly in the current. Realizing there was no one to blame, his anger subsided, and he began to laugh at himself. The monk understood this moment as a profound teaching. He realized that anger, like the drifting boat, arises within us due to our own reactions and perceptions, not because of others. It was not the boat's fault, but his own mind that had disturbed his peace. So I know this is hard, especially for me. I always want to blame someone because I'm angry because they do, right? And like, I am the one who became angry. They did not. Um, anyways, so that's illuminating around how we get the misperceptions that we have, because it's hard for us to understand how things are, to really, really fathom how nothing is permanent, everything is changing, everything's going to be different, everything is in a constant flux. But the one thing that it's true, and we forget, it's our compassionate heart. You have, as I said, you have experienced compassion. And you might have experienced just by cultivating, if you set your intention, I want to be a more compassionate person. How can I do this? Then you get in touch with your own pain. You realize this doesn't feel good. I want to, give myself some hugs. And then you realize, oh, that other people, although they look less human than myself, they might also be suffering if they're not, having all the things that I want to have: freedom, easiness, peace of mind, etc. So compassion naturally arises, and um, it's been also beautiful to witness how compassion has arisen in the city among many people, trying to help, trying to do something for others. All the people that have been taking care of the fights, and the people taking care of the firefighters, and it's really heart touching. And sometimes it's very kind of controversial that on these times one feels more alive, right? Like if nothing major is happening, we're kind of a little numb. We don't care. And this reminds us of the beauty that humanity and connection that we naturally have. I experienced this in the 1985 big earthquake in Mexico City, where, like, also it happened in like a few seconds lasted, and so many buildings came down, and we all lost people that we loved. And, everybody, my cousin, her husband and the baby, and then my neighbor, and, all these things. And there were like more lives were lost, like maybe 30,000 lives were lost, like horrible, and everybody was scared and fearful and devastated. And there were other posts, there's one big earthquake and then there's others coming, and every time, everybody's. But that was beautiful to see how people came together to help each other, to support each other, to compassion is natural. It arises. We just need to let it glow, let it flow, um, let it be active also. So some people might wonder, so why are we sitting here just repeating, reciting phrases? May you be at ease. May you find healing. May you whatever, instead of let's go and do something. Because we're doing the best we can, which is we're transforming our own hearts, and we're trying to understand. So with right view, we're trying to understand how things are. We know people suffer. We know this has happened before, many times before. This will keep happening, maybe not in the same exact context. And that the best thing we can do is to train our hearts. So it's not in our hands to stop the hurricane speed winds that came, but it's in our hands to tame our hearts so we don't hurt or harm others. And maybe we can create ripples of patience, of compassion, of understanding, of love, of caring. And we don't add more suffering with the suffering that's unavoidable, that's already there. So that is a little bit of the, when we call compassion in action, which is, yes, we repeat the phrases. I invite you to do that every day, when you do your practice at home, and try to turn your hearts towards wanting others to be safe, to be happy, to be free, to be easy. And then you will notice your actions will start shaping a little bit. It's what we're repeating, we're kind of telling ourselves, and at least the people with whom we relate will not get harmed by us. Of course, if you are in a power position, please go and do whatever is possible to do, right? And if you are not in a power position, just whatever you can do, go do it, you know? Starting by being more conscious about the environment that's creating, or what's creating, you know, a little grain of sand, a little we all can do little parts. You know, we can do volunteering, we can do offering emotional support, we can do just giving away things. We can, if you can help changing, you know, the laws or the rules in the city, in the federal government. If you're a teacher at school, if you're a parent, wherever you have influence, do that, and do that first with compassion towards yourself first, and then extending it to others. I want to read a little bit of a verse from the Dhammapada that says, conquer anger with non-anger, conquer wickedness with goodness, conquer stinginess with generosity, and the liar with truth. May I be a protector for those without one, a guide for all travelers on the way. May I be a bridge, a boat, and a ship. May all who wish to cross the water, for all who wish to cross the water.